There was only one family at that time that I knew, and that family was from Medellin.
The Ochoa family was a highly respected family of ranchers with a great deal of influence in their home city of Medellin, Colombia.
So they have, of course, the captain and the head, the capo, which was, as many people want to believe that Pablo Escobar was the king of cocaine and everything, they can believe that. But the man that was really the king was Ochoa. And not Favito, the poor man, it was the old man. The old man was the silent man who never did a day in jail, who really controlled Escobar.
Fabio Ochoa, the patriarch of the Ochoa family of the Medellin cartel.
They are credited with having created a Lloyd's of London for the cocaine trade in Colombia.
Rafa was like a lieutenant, and Rafa really controlled almost every kilo of coke that came into this country through the people from Medellin. Rafa knew it was coming, and Rafa knew who was getting it and how much they were getting for each one. And he made these people, I can't even be, I mean, you know, millions isn't enough, because millions isn't what he made these people. There was nobody higher than him for the Medellin cartel in this country. And he had many soldiers, just like the mafia people have soldiers that would work for him. Some of them would sell the drugs, some of them were enforcers. He had accountants, lawyers.
So in your view, these fellows are not the cocaine cowboys?
Absolutely not.
You know, he had everything in this country. And they were a well-formed group.
Guess what? They're not all different people sending this stuff in. It's one organization, the Medellin cartel.
The feds charge the cartel controls 80% of the cocaine coming into the United States.
Federal authorities say these three men now run an organization more violent and at least as powerful as the American mafia.
From my experience in New York with mafia people and from my experience with the Colombians, they made far more money, the Colombians, in a far shorter time than the mafia ever dreamed of making, ever. The Colombians had farms, fincas they called them there, just filled with cocaine down there because they just kept producing it. They had guys chewing leaves all night, working in factories and chewing the leaves. And these guys, you know, they worked nonstop. And down there, there's no industry. These guys were making their living doing this. These poor farmers and poor workers, they were getting paid a lot of money to do this stuff. And it was a whole process. It was like a factory working. And we worked with shortwave radios at the time. There was no telephone communication like people you see on the phones in the movies, you know. Hey, what's going on down there in Colombia? I need 600 kilos. It wasn't like that. We had antennas that would come up out of the ground, go 80 feet into the air for communication. We would have a certain time they'd turn their shortwave on, we'd turn ours, and we would talk that way.
But also at this hour in Miami, on a shortwave radio band that most radios cannot pick up, the coded instructions are coming in from a transmitter in Medellin, Colombia, for members of the world's largest cocaine smuggling organization.
The cattle is ready. The cattle is ready. At 8 o'clock, 8 for the first one.
And that's how we would set up the trips. And we